All right, y'all. Proverbs chapter 16. What does Proverbs chapter 16 mean? Well, let's figure it out together. So, this chapter of Proverbs continues recording Solomon's concise statements of wisdom. This began in chapter 10. This segment begins with a discussion of man's plans. Human nature can lead us to arrogance and ignorance. Failure to seek God's will or examine our own motives can lead to disaster. Despite what a person might tell themselves, the Lord sees the heart, weights of the spirit, and determines what will happen. The Lord is sovereign. Yes, He is. He has a purpose for everything He created. God detests ignorance, spiritual pride that causes a person to reject God, but is pleased when one turns away from evil. Godly wisdom is better than any material wealth. Yes, it is. Proverbs 16, 1 through 9. Solomon then offers several perspectives on kings and rulers. He points out the fact that those in authority have great power, so it's common sense to avoid their wrath whenever possible. Some of those statements are expressions of ideals, the way a godly king ought to act. And that's Proverbs 16, 10 through 15. Next are a series of proverbs relating to the value of wisdom, controlled speech, and self reflection. Arrogance leads to disaster since it prevents a person from following God's will or recognizing their own errors. Having truth is valuable and in and of itself. Using careful words to speak truth makes others more likely to accept it. On the other hand, using words hatefully or for spite can cause incredible damage. Proverbs 16 through 26. The concluded section of this chapter contrasts evil people with those who are righteous. Solomon offers additional warnings about self control and the importance of reining in one's temper. Through all things, even those we think of as random, God is ultimately in control. Mm. Proverbs 16:27 through 33. So the chapter context. A lengthy list of Solomon's wise saying began in chapter 10. Chapter 16 begins a section mostly composed of comparisons and completions. It extends to Proverbs 22 verse 16. Man's thoughts, speech, motives, and conducts are examined in this chapter. This chapter also addresses pride, evil, and injustice. Okay, you know what? It's time for my babies to go to bed. So the breakdown part 2. Proverbs 16 explores the themes of human intentions, God's sovereignty, and the importance of humility and righteous living. It highlights that while human plans it highlights that while humans plan, God ultimately directs events God ultimately directs events, emphasizing the need to trust in His wisdom and guidance. Yes, because I need that every day. The chapter also underscores the significance of pure motives, gracious speech, and a humble spirit, warning against pride and injustice. The breakdown of the breakdown. Divine sovereignty in human plans. Proverbs 16 and 1 states, "The plan of the heart belongs to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord." All right, now this verse emphasizes that while humans can devise plans, God ultimately controls their outcomes. It suggests that we should commit our ways to God, trusting that His plans are superior to our own. Speaking from experience, that is so true. Importance of motives. Verse 2 points out that all a man's ways are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the motives. This highlights the need to examine our intentions and ensure they align with God's will. That's really good. Commitment to the Lord. Proverbs 16 and 3 encourages us to commit your works to the Lord and your plans will be established. This verse suggests that true success comes from trusting God's wisdom and guidance rather than relying solely on our own efforts. This is good. This is good. Okay, so pride and humility. Verse 18 warns pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. This emphasizes the importance of humility and warns against arrogance. Righteousness and justice. Proverbs 16 and 8 states, better a little with righteousness than much gained with injustice. Come on now. This verse highlights the value of integrity and ethical conduct over material wealth obtained through wrongdoing. I feel like that could preach itself right there. Ooh, that could be a good sermon right there. Okay, so the last one is gracious speech. Proverbs 16:24 describes pleasing words are a honeycomb, sweet to the taste and invigorating to the bones. This verse emphasizes the power of kind and encouraging words to uplift and benefit one another. I like that. Every man and woman should commit their works to the Lord. They should depend on God in their works, and they should do those works unto the Lord. Um, Proverbs 16 provides a profound reflection on life, human nature, divine intervention, and the importance of wisdom, humility, and righteousness. All right, y'all. That is all I have for Proverbs chapter 16. I will see you guys tomorrow for Proverbs chapter 17 breakdown. And you guys have a good day. Bye.